Taking the time to make a drilling guide for my ferrules on the back of the guitar. I just used a piece of plywood and I made the holes on a drill press so that I can get them perfectly straight across. I'm going to put this on the back of the guitar, and this will be for the first recess for the lip of the ferrule to sit down in. And when I get done with that, I'll have to drill the rest of the way for the smaller part of the ferrule. So instead of letting the ferrule sit on top of the surface, I'm going to try to do a two-step counterbore in order to let them sit flush with the top. Hopefully I don't screw this up, so let me get this on the guitar and we'll give it a shot. Got some double stick tape on it, so we'll go ahead and get that off and then get it on the guitar. I've got a center line marked on it, so I'm going to line that up with the center lines of the center line, singular, of the guitar. And I'm just kind of place it right over these holes. That looks about right there. Now what I should have done was probably set the depth of the drill press before I put this on here, but I can probably do that up here. I just don't want to poke the brad point of the drill bit into the body, so I can put it in this hole right here and get my depth set, which is going to be about 2 millimeters deep for the top part of the ferrule. So let's go to the drill press. There. All right. See if I can get this off. There we go. Right, they look straight. It's good. Let me see if the lip is far enough down. Oh yeah, they'll probably sit right below the surface. I wonder if I need to use a regular drill. I'm just going to take the shot. So that's the one thing I'm concerned about, is it getting off center and then not wanting to sit down in there. Just as I suspected, I don't have the hole for the recess perfectly centered within the bigger hole, so it wants to sit up towards the top or towards this side of the hole, and it doesn't want to fall into the lip that I created. I think I may try the rest of them, at least try one of them by hand and see if it's any better. Got the drill bit in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some tape on it to set the flag. That's how deep I need to go. So let me get it in the drill and we'll give it a shot. See what happens. It is better. You see that? Go straight down in there. I'm going to do it that way for the rest of them. And I'll have to work on that hole. I wonder if I could just kind of ease it open on the bottom side. Oh yeah. That's the way. So the first recess with the drill press, just to get the depth exact. And then the rest of the way with the hand drill, or the drill gun, whatever you call it. Let me go ahead and give it a shot. That one's not going in perfectly. It's like tight. It'll go in, but it's tight. I'm not going to push them in yet. They'll go in, I can tell. I just don't want to have to get them stuck in there. But you know what? It didn't come out too bad. I'll show you what these look like up close. Pretty cool. And it's a perfectly straight line, so that's good. I can probably make a more permanent one of these with some thick acrylic or something like that, because I'm pretty sure this plywood is going to wear out one of these days. Pretty cool. I'm happy. I'm really happy. This means I can move on to staining. Alright, it's been a couple days since I did the ferrules, and it's Labor Day weekend. And my whole plan this whole time has been to go ahead and get the finish done. Not the finish, but the staining done, and then start on the finish during this 3-day weekend that I have. I started feeling bad last night, and I'm not feeling great right now, but I decided I need to go ahead and just knock it out. So I'm going to do a little bit and then see how I feel. But for now, I'm going to try to get started on the body. I'm going for like a butterscotch blonde. That's my ultimate goal, but I doubt I'll be able to pull that off perfectly. So what I have is some translucent dye. You can mix it in water or denatured alcohol. I saw the guys on Texas Toast Guitars here on YouTube mix some stain with water. I think they were using translucent dye as well. I'm going to go ahead and try that. I know it's going to raise the grain, but I'll just sand it back. I don't have a spray set up. I've got like a big sprayer, like to spray like paint on a house or something like that, but it's too big for something small like this. And I don't have an HVLP gun or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to apply the stain with just some paper towels. Hopefully it won't come out blotchy, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot and just see what it looks like. I'm gonna mix this water, and I've got some popsicle sticks to stir it and to kind of get a gauge on what it looks like. So once it looks okay on the popsicle stick, I'll go ahead and do the stain. And I know that this True Oil does kind of have an amber tint to it, so I'm going to try to stop a little bit lighter than what I think I should be with the stain, so that later when I put this True Oil and it darkens up a little bit, it won't look too dark. At least that's my goal. But whatever the case may be, it is what it is. However it comes out is going to be how it comes out. Okay, this is just a learning experience for me, so hopefully I don't mess it up too bad. Got about a half a cup. I'm gonna go ahead and squirt some of this in and see what it looks like. Look at this. I'm gonna have to clip the top off. Give me a second. Okay, I just used those things. So here we go. Okay. That looks pretty dark, you know. Got another brand new one. Let's put it in there and see what it looks like. Okay, so it's really light. Maybe just a little bit more. Stir with this one and check it with this one. I think that looks okay. I'm just trying to plan ahead for adding the True Oil, which I know will add some darkness to it. So let me put this in there. You know, a couple of coats of that I think will look okay. I think I'm gonna just go with it. It's kind of yellowish looking, but if I have to darken up a little bit for coat number 2, I can try that. So let me go ahead and put this on like it is and see what it looks like. There's nothing else to do but just to do it, so I guess I'll go ahead and do it. Okay. It's too light. It's too light. I think it's too light. Let's put a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit more in and try again. That'll do for now, I guess. Let it sit and I'll come back and do another coat, and I'll catch back up with you when I get done. Alright, so you can see what it looks like. It's the next day. I did like 2 heavier coats and 1 light coat. I think that's about as far as I'm going to go. I don't want it to get any darker. So of course I'm going to sand it down a little bit to get rid of all the raised grain. Before I do that, I've got these 2 long drill bits that I bought at the beginning of the build. And one's going to be for, I think, the ground wire for the bridge. And the other will be for the holes for the wires to pass through. So I need to go ahead and knock that out. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Let's put it straight. Cool. Oh man. Sweet. It went in perfectly. Nice. I think it's supposed to be right here. I'm not sure. Nice. Nice. I think that's gonna do it. Just an update on the neck. I've got 5 coats of True Oil, and I'm just going over the whole thing with some quadruple lock steel wool just to make it feel smooth again before I do the next 5 or so coats. And I'm just kind of rubbing over it until it feels smooth, like I just said. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and add, like I said, 5 or so more coats. I guess that'll be enough. I don't know. My plan is to do like a glossy, kind of glossy finish on the fretboard and like a satin finish on the rest of the neck and on the body. So I've got some True Oil gun stock wax to rub onto the neck, headstock, and body once I've got my buildup of True Oil coats. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how it turns out. But just wanted to catch you up on the neck. Now I need to get back to the body and sand off where the grain has been raised from doing the stain. And then I can move on to putting some coats of True Oil on it. Well, it is kind of looking like a banana. I'm just going to go until I feel the grain, sand it off. Hopefully I don't go too much and burn through it. Just go real light. Look at that. Have I already gone through it? You know stinking what? Golly, how? Well, looks like I'm gonna have to do the top again. Might as well sand it down all the way and then just do another real light coat. Might as stinking well. Feels smooth. So now I gotta get the edges. Let me go ahead and finish the sanding, and I may even go ahead and just touch up some of these spots with a real light application. If I do sand again, I'm gonna use like 1,000, 2,000, or even some 4/0 steel wool and see if that'll take those nibs down or the grain down. All right, I'll catch back up with you. All right, so what I ended up doing was taking just the tip of a rag and dipping it into the stain and daubing it almost dry just on this piece of scrap swamp ash, and then just lightly just rubbed it into the spots that had worn away and then just dried them off. So it's real light, the covering. It's real light. I'll probably sand through it again if I do too much, but I'm going to use like steel wool and see if I could just barely lightly rub it until it's smooth without taking any of that stain off. I think I'm going to stop here. It just kind of, I need some spray equipment. I just need spray equipment. It's a little darker on the parts where there's end grain, and it's harder to keep it as even. It's just soaked in some spots a little bit more. I don't think there's much I can do for that just with the setup I have. HVLP gun is going to be next on the list before I do another electric guitar. It'd probably help me on my acoustic guitars as well, spraying stuff on them if I ever go that direction. But anyway, I'm going to let this dry for a little bit and then start trying to put some true oil on it. And the train stent dye worked out pretty well. I still got almost a whole container. I barely used any of it. It's a 2-ounce container. The line comes up to here, so it's still almost a full container. And I made too much stain. I still got this much. I went up to right here when I made it, and I'm only down to about right there. So I've only used about a 1/2 inch of liquid in this red solo cup, and I just made way too much, I guess. So at least I know for next time not to make so much and try to conserve it a little bit. But anyway, I'll catch up with you in a little while. Okay, it's the next day, and after letting that dry, all those touch-ups, I've taken some 1,000 grit sandpaper this time instead of 400, and just lightly went over it. Anywhere I felt any kind of rough dust nibs or any kind of raised grain spots or whatever the case may be from the stain, and it all feels super smooth. So I've just wiped it down the whole body with a rag, and I'm going to go ahead and start with true oil. I'm doing the same kind of thing I'm doing on the neck. Ultimately, I'm going for a satin finish. I don't want a super gloss finish. That's just a preference. So I'm going to go for a satin finish, but I'm going to build some coats of true oil, and I'm going to start right now on the body. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit. I want to see what this does, and it does look a lot darker. It is looking a lot darker. Looks like there's I'll tell you what, there is a dent in the wood on the side right here. How did I not see that before? Goodness gracious. Well, once I finish this coat, I'll come back, I'll steam it out, I'll restain it and do everything I gotta do. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this coat so you can see what it looks like, okay? Was that not recording? I didn't realize the camera stopped recording. The battery was completely dead. I didn't hear it click off or nothing. So got the top and the back. It's kind of splotchy looking because of how it's soaking it in. Some dry wood. But I'm going to go ahead and at least show you the change of how the color changes with this true oil going on there. See that? Darkens it up nicely. It looks great, I think. Personally, it might be a little bit darker than Butterscotch Blonde, but I think I'm gonna be happy, especially up here in this. You can see how dark it got up here. It's just looking splotchy with how it's soaking all this in. I'll catch back up with you in a second. Now, at the beginning of the project, I did actually plan on painting the thing, so that's why I bought paint grade wood. But you can see some of these nasty spots in the wood. It's just hand grade wood. It's not high quality wood. It's already got some blemishes just from me being a noob. So it may end up being a relic without me even really intending for it to be completely, just based on my skill level. So anyway, just want to show you. I don't know what that black spot is right there. I just noticed. What is that? And fast forward a couple of weeks, I've got about, I think, 9 or 10 coats on it of true oil. And you know, there's something I hadn't talked about that I want to talk about real quick. Is the pickguard. There's an issue with it that I haven't really talked about because I've been kind of trying to decide what to do. Well, you can see around the neck that it doesn't quite fit up too well right there. And there's a gap. So I went ahead and bought a new sheet of black pickguard material, and I'm going to try to make my own pickguard because I'm just not happy with how it meets up with the neck. It needs to be done, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. Yeah, just a side note, it looks like I'll be able to get at least a couple of pickguards out of this material. Pretty nice. It's I ended up getting a black matte pickguard. I just thought it looked better than this shiny one. So it's matte material. So let me go ahead and take care of this. Alright, I've got the control plate just kind of sat in there where it goes. I've got the bridge lined up about where it goes. So the whole point of this was this neck area right here. I did have to open up this a little bit to fit around the control plate. But if I line up the previous holes that I drilled for the previous pickguard, it all lines up a lot better. And the whole goal was to overhang the neck pocket a little bit. So this opening here is a little bit smaller than the actual opening. So the goal here is to attach the neck plate, not the neck plate, the scratch plate, bolt it down, and then take a router and flush trim right there. I believe I saw the Shed of Dreams. If you've seen that YouTube channel, Shed of Dreams, it's a guitar builder, and he builds a lot of guitars. But I saw him do that one time, and I thought it worked out really well. So that's what gave me the idea to do it. So let me go ahead and bolt this down and then trim that. You know what, actually I like the way this matte finish pickguard looks better than that other one. I think it looks a lot better. Okay, I'm going to have to probably not have that bolt in there because my router is going to have to sit right there. Let's just really try our best not to screw this up. I think I'd see better like this. Looks pretty good. It lines up perfectly with the neck pocket. Awesome. Don't want to lose those screws. What I got to do next is start the finishing process. I guess finish the finishing process. I've already put all the coats of true oil that I'm going to do. So that's what you'll see in the next few sequences, me getting the guitar finished and ready to assemble. Of course, I do have a little bit of fretwork left to do, so that could take some time. But I'm going to go ahead and start trying to get the finish done and everything buffed like it should be, waxed, whatever I'm going to do to make it satin. I don't know. I got to figure that out. But I'll catch back up with you when I get ready for the next step. Well, you can see what it looks like. I gave it a sheen. It's not super glossy, but it's got a little bit of gloss to it. I think it looks pretty good. Right now I'm just trying to wrap my head around the wiring because I want to start putting the guitar together, but I need to know how this stuff's going to route. I mean, I'm gonna have to look up a soldering diagram, of course, but I just want to at least get my head around it because I have zero idea what all this is. So what I've been able to determine so far is that the bridge pickup just bolts with these 3 bolts into the bridge. So I've got it set in there for now. I may have to raise or lower that, probably raise it some, but for now I've got it in there. And the other thing I've been able to determine is that this single coil pickup obviously just bolts straight to the pickguard, not to the guitar body, because the bolts that comes with it are not even screws. And I was thinking, well, how in the world is that going to screw into the wood? So I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and what I figured out is that apparently it's supposed to bolt straight to the pickguard. So there's going to be a hole on each side that lines up with the holes in the pickup. So I need to go ahead and drill those holes through so that I can get these bolts through and hold that thing in. So I'm going to work on that, and once I at least figure out what I've got to do, I'm going to install the guitar, and then we can start worrying about all this wiring stuff. So let me get my head around this, and I'll be right back. Well, that wasn't too difficult. Of course, I got to pull this plastic off, but I'm going to wait to do that until later. Not too shabby. Okay, I'm not completely, but 90% confounded by the wiring. I've just never done it before, so I'm nervous. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where all the wires go. I found a diagram that seems to make sense, so I just gotta make sure I think about it some more. But until then, I'm gonna put it off until I absolutely have to do it. So I'm gonna take care of a few more things, like strap locks. I just got these in the other day, or last week. I forgot that I needed them, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in. I've already marked on the guitar where this one goes. So let's do it. Might as well go ahead and do the ferrules too. I don't know if you can see in this shot, but there is a dent or a something impression in the wood right here from here to here that was not there when I did the wax on the back when I buffed it. I have zero idea how that ended up in there. I mean, this happened earlier today, like between just a couple hours ago and now. I have no idea. Just golly. This thing's gonna be a relic whether I want to or not, you know? It's just aggravating. I just want to make a note. I did cut some wire. I'm not sure if this is the right kind of wire, but it's a little skinny wire that I found in a pack of stuff I got from Stu Mac before I decided to buy the pre-wired stuff. So I've got it going through the bridge ground wire hole, and I'm guessing that's where it goes. I don't know. I just cut it off here to hopefully leave enough to ground to wherever it's supposed to go. So got that there for now. These wires, one's a hot wire, one's a ground wire, apparently. And I've just got that ground wire just laying there, kind of splayed apart the wires. Hopefully it'll make okay contact with the bridge. Well, I gotta take it right back off because I can't bolt it down until I pass the wires for this pickup down in there. So since I know that these are the bridge wires, I'm going to mark them with some orange tape just to keep them separate from the ones for this pickup. So let me go ahead and get this thing back off. Okay, might as well go ahead and put the pick guard on. Alright, okay, starting to come together. It's pretty cool. Guess I'll go ahead and bolt that down so this is on there. Might as well go get the neck. Let's put the neck on. Well, I had to back up a little bit. I realized that I did not finish the fretwork on the neck, so I figured I need to go ahead and take care of that. I've got these glasses, hopefully that'll help. And I upgraded to a Z file from Stu Mac. Hopefully this will help me a little bit better than the tool I've been using. I went down and I checked all of them for rocking or anything like that. And I had to fix like 2 through 5. I don't know what the deal was, but there was a lot of rocking in those. They're good now. I checked the rest of the frets and they're good. I don't have any buffing compound or anything like that for the frets, so I've just sanded them up to like 2000 grit. So they look a good deal, a good bit shinier than they were. I need to look into buffing them even further with compound and stuff like that. I've seen people do that on YouTube. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. Alright, well I thought I was recording when I took all the tape off, but I wasn't. But here it is. Nice and shiny. Now I'm ready to attach it to the body. Let's do it. The neck should slide right in. There we go. Alright, there we go. So it's on there. So now we can put the tuners on and figure out the wiring, make a nut, and then we can string it up. But that's gonna do it for today. Check it out. I wanted to bring it outside to see what it looked like in the real light. And I think it looks pretty good. It's starting to look like a real guitar now. I gotta put the tuners on like I mentioned. Then I gotta figure out the wiring. Then I gotta make a nut. And then I gotta do a whole setup and all that stuff. So I just thought maybe this would be a good spot to end it. Now the original plan, before I went on vacation last week, was to come back from vacation and then spend the day completing the guitar and then getting this last video out. But I kind of changed plans while I was on vacation, thinking about the pickguard. I just really wasn't happy with how the pickguard was looking. I had even gone so far as to think, well, I'll just take some Sharpie and just color the wood where the pickguard's not meeting up to the neck. And I thought, you know, that's not right. It's just not right. I need to do it right, make a better decision, and just go ahead and learn how to make a pickguard. So I'm glad I did that, but that took up all morning today. So because of that, I didn't have time to finish. So looks like there's going to be one more part of this guitar build, and I'll start working on that tomorrow. But as of right now, it's time for me to go beddy bye. Almost. It's getting dark and I got to go back to work tomorrow. So anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you sticking around and watching all these parts. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any further videos in this series or anything else that I'm working on. And I appreciate you. See you next time. Bye.